mistake of not dressing warm enough for UK. So while I had a 15-hour layover to go explore, all I had was a button-up shirt. And,
oh yeah, you gonna freeze? You gonna freeze at night, man. You gonna freeze.
Yeah, that didn't quite do it. But I had enough time to get out there and grab a Guinness and some fish and chips, so I was good.
All right. Hey, welcome to Travel Tuesdays Happy Hour, where we interview dope people doing dope things with one thing in common: the love of travel. Today we have my brother. Could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Femi Ranti Fakinlede. Other people know me as Femi. My Qs know me as Akibulan. That's who I am. That's who I be.
Okay. And what do you do?
I'm a consultant, financial management. I work in the consulting industry, a small company called Ernst & Young. And I went to school. I'm an accountant by trade, financial manager, project management. I do all the above.
Okay. Oh, so you a man that wear many hats.
Absolutely. Got to nowadays.
So do you remember your first trip ever? Like, what got you into traveling?
Absolutely. My first trip was when I was young, at the age of 7. Well, actually, before that, I'm a product of 2 countries. My dad's from West Africa, Nigeria, and before the age of 7, we visited Nigeria for a time. And then at the age of 7, we actually moved to Nigeria. So I lived in Nigeria from the age of 7 to 14. So that was my first time actually leaving the States and going to a foreign land.
So how was that experience? Like, so you go from born to 7, and then, once again, I don't know what the life is like in Nigeria in contrast to here. So what was that experience like?
Well, at first it was shocking at first. A young kid going over there at 7, used to running with my friends, used to eating McDonald's, used to going to Wendy's, used to getting hamburgers and to just wake up one day and I'm in a foreign land in Nigeria where, it was no more, you couldn't get any more, you couldn't buy any more ground beef. You had to ground your own beef to be specific. Going into a society where you lived and played. You didn't play too much video games. You were outside. Pretty much running around. Being one with nature. Playing soccer, running around with your with slippers. Just being a boy, being rambunctious, enjoying nature, eating fruit from trees, mango trees, breadfruit trees, cashew trees, going into the forest to sap honey. Just being one with nature, man. It was a great experience. But at first, it was shocking. I longed to be back in the States, but as time went by, getting into primary school and learning how to drum, play the drum, and learning the national anthem, and meeting people, meeting other folks that were expatriates from America. And, it turned out to be great. It was a great experience. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Hindsight is 2020. While I was there, believe it or not, I kind of longed to get back over here, but now that I'm here, I'm very grateful of the time that I spent over there, because it was a lot of things that I probably could have gotten into when I was here that I missed I missed a fortunately I missed the opportunity to get into, if you know what I mean.
Got it,
So
got it. So was it one of those like, life changes where it was like, all right, looks like Femi's about to get in trouble. Let's up and get out. Or was it just one of those things where, your parents felt like we need to bring the culture, we need to raise him in the culture type of scenario?
well, actually, it was one of those things where I had from the age of 7 to 14, I had finished primary school. Then I went to secondary school, a place called Federal Government College, which is pretty much high school. So I did sixth, seventh, eighth, or ninth grade because I was in ninth grade. So my mom was still over here. My mom's American. She's Black American. So my mom,
Okay.
she was in Nigeria for a while, and then she came back to the States. So it was one of those things where my dad, and to be honest with you, my boarding school, I was in boarding school in Nigeria for 3 years. So it was an experience in itself. You know, we won't get into that experience, but after a while, you know, my dad wanted to reunite everyone. So it was time for us to kind of come back and be reunited with my mom and my
Okay.
brother.
So since that first trip, like what are some other places you've been?
Oh man, I've traveled. I've traveled as far as I can, as far as I can. I mean, I've been to. I guess I've been. Obviously, I've been to Mexico, Bahamas. I've been to Jamaica. I've been to St. Lucia. I've been to San Antonio, Texas, Houston, New York, obviously Pennsylvania, where I went to school at University of Pittsburgh. I lived in Daytona Beach, Florida. Been there. Been to Miami, Charlotte. Um, I've been to Brazil a couple times. England, UK. Um, I've been to Senegal. Stopped at Dakar. um, Germany, France. Um, I've been to quite a few places. I must admit, I'm not going to sit here in front. A lot of places like UK, France, they were um, they were pit stops on my way to Nigeria. Like I took Air France. You had to stop in France. I took Virgin Airlines, Virgin Atlantic. I mean, I stopped. There was a layover in England, London. So
I mean, look, I ain't gonna lie, those are some of my cheat codes. You know what I mean? You're gonna stop somewhere, might as well find the longest layover that you can so that you can experience that country or town and then go from there. I mean, I do that a lot. Like for me, I look at multi-city trips as much as I can to get the best experience out of it. You know what I mean?
absolutely, absolutely. My Virgin Atlantic. The last trip I took to Nigeria, I took Virgin Atlantic, and I purposely booked a 15-hour layover in London. 15 hours.
Nice.
So that was, having not been to Nigeria in like 12 years, I was really excited about going. I went by myself mainly to see my grandmother because she's up there in age, and
Mm.
to hang out and look for business opportunities over there. But I made the mistake of not dressing warm enough for UK. So while I had a 15-hour layover to go explore, all I had was a button-up shirt, and
Oh yeah, you gonna
that
freeze.
didn't
You
quite
gonna
do
freeze at night, man. You gonna
it.
freeze.
Yeah, that didn't quite do it. But I had enough time to get out there and grab a Guinness and some fish and chips, so I was good.
There you go. I still haven't been to London yet, so that's on my next set of trips. So
Yeah.
like when you're thinking about going on a trip, right? Like where does your mind go? Like for me, traveling is therapy. Like what keeps you wanting to travel?
Oh man, the one thing that keeps me wanting to travel is my love for learning and experiencing different culture. You know, pardon me one second. I love to um, be in the midst of music, different languages, um, keeping English at the core because I love to be able to translate it. You know, I don't want to just be in the middle of foreigner speaking a different language. I'd like to have English as a backdrop of everything, but you know, just a lot the different foods. You know, and I also like the water. I love the water. You know, at the beaches. You know, but at the and also, you know, I love collecting. Collecting. I don't collect as much art as I would like to, but I would like to collect more art. But I love different culture and the art that they have. But I would say primarily it's it's the culture. It's the culture that I love to experience.
Okay, okay. So like I guess I'm gonna jump into like some more current events as it relates to travel, right? So with the current like civil unrest here in the United States, and you know, I've had a couple people that's overseas interviewed so far. You know, one of the questions I wanted to ask you is like, have you ever felt the level of discrimination traveling as you do when you're in the United States?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Brazil.
Mm.
Yeah, Brazil is it's a fun place, but don't get it twisted. You know, us of the African diaspora, you know, we have a long way to go in Brazil. You know, I don't even think they've had their civil rights movement to kind of think about it. Matter of fact, I know they haven't. So imagine America having a civil rights movement, you know, starting in the '60s, '50s, or whatever, and them not even having it. So that goes to show you how far behind they are in race relations over there. If you know anything about the history of slavery in Brazil, it'll give you some perspective of how they're doing with race relations. Um, but you know, to answer your question, yeah, yeah. Other cultures and other countries, even such as even going back to Nigeria, being that I haven't spoken about Nigeria, being that Nigeria is gained their independence in 1960. Um, they have a long way to go. You know, they have a long way to go, an extremely long way to go, based on the government and some would say it's mismanagement of funds, you know, abuse of power, and and all the above. But to answer your question, I kind of forgot your question, but I know you were talking about
So
how does
yeah, so yeah, no, so you know, you answered the first part of the question, right? Which was, you know, as a person from the diaspora, do you experience, you know, prejudice or racial discrimination when you travel? And so you, thanks for answering that. Now, as far as what's been going on here, what are your thoughts on that, right? And it's going to be a two-part question. One, we 2020 has been a rough one, right? And COVID didn't really help. So we have COVID, which has us all locked down and kind of forced to pay attention to what's going on around us. And then you have the issues that are occurring while we're in COVID, while we have nothing but to stare at the screen. So first, tell us, you know, where were you when things hit the fan as far as COVID wise, and then let's talk about like, you know, your thoughts and feelings around where things have moved as far as the civil unrest.
oh man. So where I was when COVID, I guess, first started, I guess, gaining notoriety. Obviously, you know, like everyone else, well, like most people, I was going into work every day. You know, when the first case hit out in was it Washington or California on the West Coast? You know, it was just a matter of time. I knew it was gonna. Me personally, I knew it was gonna spread because watching the Ebola crisis, and so in the back of my mind, I knew it was gonna spread. You know, so to answer your question, yeah, I was at work, going to work every day, but it was funny because being a contractor at my job and working at a government agency, you know, I had to talk with my manager at the time, and him wanted all the contractors, you know, you have to come into work every day. Don't even think about teleworking. You have to come into work every day. So I remember vividly having this conversation with him, like, look, you know, we got a virus spreading right now. It's over in the West Coast. You know, we're in Maryland, and I remember him like it was yesterday, saying, you know what? Don't worry about it. You got to keep coming into work. I remember him saying that. You got to keep coming into work. Don't even think about working from home. Don't even think about it. If everybody has to come, if everybody has to work from home, you're not going to work from home. I remember him saying that. So don't even think about it. And then he was like, then he started going down this road about, I don't know if you've heard this explanation about all these people that die of the flu every year and blah, blah, blah. he kept on going like, all these people that die of the flu, this is COVID, this is COVID. It's not going to be worse than the flu because everybody dies from the flu and this is just another da-da-da. He went on this thing. He was like, but as far as you, don't even think about working from home. A month later, here I am. I'm working from home. So I kind of, every time I remember that, I kind of giggle in the back of my mind, like he was so adamant about me not working from home, and here it is, a month later. Well, it was a month at the time, and everyone's working from home. The whole building is cleared. Everyone's working from home. So, you know, that was where I was when the whole pandemic hit, and how it spread over to the East Coast and how it spread all across the country. And as far as the civil unrest with the killing of George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery and countless others, you know, it's time. It was about time, man. I mean, you can't keep on suppressing a particular population and expect things to people to just roll over and take it, man. I mean, it didn't happen in slavery, and it's not going to happen now. You know what I mean? Black people are a very powerful people. I don't think people realize how strong the black race is. You know what I mean? If you've ever tried to exterminate us, it can't happen. I mean, whether we make so many babies, whether the shade of America is becoming darker, you know, you name it, we are here to stay. Now, whether it's a fear of the black planet, whether it's a fear of the Mandingo, you know, impregnating, I can go forever, man. But you know, we're here to stay. You can't get rid of us. You know, and a lot of that fear plays into the lynching, I mean, we can go back. We can talk about this. The misplacement of the fathers in the homes. You know, the Jim Crow laws from the start, the mass incarceration, and now, you know, so basically, you know, you had the Jim Crow, then you had the mass incarceration, then now you have just you know, armed militias running around just killing black folks. You know what I mean? From civilians to the police, you know, over policing the black community, whatever name you want to put on it, it's trying to get rid of us. Let's keep it plain and simple. It's trying to get rid of the black race, you know, and we're tired of it, man. We're tired of it. We're tired of it, man. I mean, you know, it's we can't take it. And so what you saw is basically a boil over, Regardless of, a lot of people say, okay, it was a pandemic going on, you're supposed to wear your mask, but hey, it's not about masks, man. I don't care what's going on right now. If people are tired of a certain situation, they're gonna speak out, and we can't continue to have unarmed Black men and women being killed by those that have sworn to protect and serve us. It can't keep going on. And thank God for body cameras, but it makes you ask the question. It's not even a question. We all know this has happened. This has been happening for God knows how long. So thank God for cameras, but we're just now seeing it in live in camera, live in color. But to answer your question, it's we just the oppressed are sick and tired of being sick and tired, man. And it boiled over. Within the pandemic, it still boiled over. And that's what you saw, and that's what you continue to see. We can't take it no more, man. We can't take it no more. Hey, one thing I want to add.
Go ahead.
As much as we talk about the youth, and I know I complain about the youth of nowadays, pants sagging and looking crazy as far as their attire. There's courage amongst the youth of today. There's courage. As much as I complain about their attire, there's bravery amongst them, because that's who you saw out there. That's the majority of the people you saw out there protesting and rioting and saying we've had enough of that. It wasn't us old folks, because I know I was at home. I was at home. I was doing a virtual march. I did a virtual march. But I was there, but I know there was young folks out there, and those, you got to give kudos to those. You definitely do.
I mean, those are great points. And, once again, I appreciate your candor in responding to the question. So how are you adjusting to the new norm, right? Most states are on, I think, stage 4 of reopening the economy, reopening different areas. How are you adjusting to now having to wear a mask? School is open, right? You have little ones. How are you adjusting to finding the new norm, to figuring out how to go forward from here? I don't know.
Okay, so stage one of the pandemic, I was scared shitless. Excuse my French. I was scared. I didn't want to go out nowhere. I stayed home, trying to figure out what to do, trying to wash my hands every second. Trying not to go nowhere. But slowly, because believe it or not, I drive for Lyft. As a means for extra income. So I stopped driving for Lyft. The first time that I drove for Lyft, it was, I think I took a risk to get out there and take a passenger somewhere. And I came back home and I asked my wife, I was like, what am I doing, man? What am I doing? Why am I out there? It's not like I need the money. It's not like I need the money like that. I could use the money, but I'm not a surgeon. I'm not a doctor. Why am I putting myself out there? And she was like, yeah, just keep your face covered or do what you got to do. And but she never said stay home. But she said do what you got to do. If that's how if you got to do it, do what you have to do. And then so in the beginning, to answer the question, in the beginning, I was very adamant about not getting out there at all. But as time, and you saw, and the funny thing about it, you saw it on the highways. When the pandemic hit, the highways, everything was clear. Everything was quiet. But as weeks went by, people started to come out. Because people, you have to earn a living. You have to know, you have to earn a living. You have to make money. You have to work. So people started to come out. People started to realize, okay, I'm gonna wear my mask. I'm gonna stay clean. I'm gonna socially distance myself. and I'm obeying. You know, as we learn more about this virus, which we haven't learned everything about it, people just try to figure out a way to coexist with the virus. So as far as me, I went from stage one, not going out at all, you know, not having my kids go out. Matter of fact, I don't have my kids play with other kids right now because I don't know, I don't know where their parents have been and all that stuff. So it's kind of sad that to this day, my kids still can't go out and play with our neighbors. So that's one thing that kind of that hurts me right now. But it is what it is. But as far as me, I slowly came out of my shell, and right now, believe it or not, I'm actually driving for Lyft when every chance I can. Obviously I wear my mask, and I have a sign on my window that says, "Don't step foot in my car if you don't have my mask." And thank God for Lyft, because they have mandates where obviously you have to wear a mask before you step in someone's car, or I can deny a ride. So that's pretty much where I've been. It's been like a spectrum, starting from not going out at all, being scared of everything, until But one thing I don't do is we haven't flown in an airplane yet. My wife is totally against that. So we drive. If we have to drive to a different state, like we're in Virginia right now, so we drove here. But if the option is to fly, then we're going to decline that. Yeah, so that's where I am now. Just being socially distant. I mean, you can't be too socially distant with someone in your back seat. But as long as I wear my mask, I have my Lysol, so I'm spraying every second. I spray my car. I wipe down my car with Lysol wipes. And everyone that gets in my car has to wear a mask. And I must say that, I'm kind of worried every time I hear someone cough or sneeze. I kind of, it's kind of crazy where nowadays, if someone sneezes or coughs, you get scared and shit, or you freak out. But thank God, knock on wood, everything's good with me. You know what I mean? I'm healthy. I thank God for, sustaining me, and everything's well with me right now. So I thank God.
Okay, so we talked about doing layovers as a means to like travel, take an extended kind of detour before your final destination. What's a tip, like, for someone looking to get into traveling? What would you recommend they do just to get their foot wet?
Oh man, to get their foot wet, what would I recommend they do? Well, obviously, learn about the culture. If you can Google anything about the culture, whatever it is about wherever you're going, um, kind of do some research on the culture. Obviously, depending on where you're going, learn about the do's and don'ts of the place. Um, if it's a country with a foreign language, kind of learn the good morning, the basic stuff. Good morning, goodbye, hello, how are you doing? Do you know how to get here? Directions, the basic stuff. But you can find all those things on the internet. Um, you know, Developing a genuine love for wherever you're going. Try to muster up an interest for you. Obviously, you shouldn't be going to some place that you don't care about. I mean, even if it's Iceland, my brother, he's a big traveler too, and I think they have some cheap flights to Iceland, so he ended up in Iceland, and I was like, why the hell are you going to Iceland? But they talked about the Northern Lights or going somewhere, and so you have to muster up some interest in the place that you're going. What else? If you're going to like Africa or certain third world countries, you may have to take some shots. What else can I offer? Just be vigilant. Don't forget. An interesting story happened to me when I was in Brazil. Coming back the next people notice you, and they can profile you too at the airport, because I'm coming back from Brazil, minding my own business. Like, anybody know anything about Brazil, it's one of those spots where a lot of drugs are either come from or go to. It's one of those hot spots for drugs. So, obviously, well, not obviously, but coincidentally, I was profiled and pulled out of a line. Just trying to board my flight. They profiled me, so they had to check my bag. Just a random check. But just kind of know about where you're going, and while you're there, don't be vigilant. Be vigilant where you're going. There's also there's some travel groups that you can look up and go as part of a group. But I would say the number one tip is just try to muster up a genuine interest in the destination that you're seeking to explore. And with that genuine interest, it'll lead to you going on the internet and finding things about where you're going. Don't just go somewhere blindly, and because if you go somewhere blindly, it doesn't make for a good trip. Kind of learn about the culture before you get there. That way, um, you can enjoy it a lot better.
Okay, thank you. I really appreciate that. So tell me what you have coming up, what you got going on that you might want people to know about you.
Oh man, so what I have coming up, I'm an agent. I'm a realtor. I'm a consultant by day. That's my day job, but I'm also an agent. Uh, on all platforms, Femi underscore the realtor, on IG, on Twitter, on the Medium, and on Facebook. Femi underscore the realtor. I'm out in the DMV. I'm a Maryland realtor. So for all your real estate needs, buying, selling, renting, reach out to me. I will serve you. That's what I do. You will not be dissatisfied. I'm a personal trainer. I do bartending. I can get your body right. I jog every day. I'm an avid jogger. So if you need to
So
run,
you're African. That's what you're telling me. You're African, so you're not Jamaican. You're African. You're on another level where you got like 30 jobs.
Yeah, I'm another level. I got 30 jobs. I got 40 jobs.
Oh man,
I love it.
This is so dope, bro. I really appreciate you for jumping on and sharing your story. I mean, the thing is, you hit a lot of points from your beginning to traveling to understanding the differences in accepting culture, right? So like the one thing I didn't ask you was like, having had the experience of going back to Nigeria for the 7 years, did that kind of help mold your level of expectations when you travel?
Oh, no, definitely. I mean, I'm ready for the gully. Put it that way. You know what I mean? I know that, but I ain't gonna lie. When I get back to America, I smile. I smile because I know, hey, America, don't forget, forget what you heard. America is the best country in the world. I mean, you might argue about that, but you'll know that when you go to these third world countries. You come back to America, be like, you know what? Hey, you take a lot of things for granted. All these people talking about, I'll move to another country if blah, blah, blah doesn't work out. You go ahead and do that. I mean, I know a lot of people move to Ghana and they move here and there, but it's hard transitioning to those societies. America is full of convenience. If you like convenience, America is for you. A lot of other countries are not as convenient. And like I mentioned earlier, as far as for things such so little, and so I got this was 1988 when I went to, well, actually 1981 when I first moved to Nigeria. We had to ground our own beef. That we couldn't buy ground beef. So we had to get a grinder and put the raw meat in a grinder and use our hand to twist it to get a ground beef. That, like I said, that was in '81. Hopefully things have progressed since then, which I would think they have. But at the end of the day, I'm talking about convenience. You know, not too many people can say you can go to a Burger King, you can go to a Wendy's. I mean, they have that in Nigeria. You know, Mr. Biggs, they have Pizza Hut and stuff like that. But on an average, America and all its convenience, this is where it is. You know what I mean? Because you know, it's all about convenience. People don't want to have to, you know, you don't want to have to get up and do nothing. This is a place for it. So, to get back to your question, I've learned to appreciate and I've learned to get ready for, you know, having to take a cold shower.
Listen,
when I go to Nigeria.
Talk about that. No running water, electricity.
Man.
You know, having to, you know, as a kid, I ain't gonna lie, my first trip to Haiti, I took a shower in rainwater. And I was like, this is kind of cool, but you can't just shower in the naked in the United States.
You're right. They'll arrest you.
Showering naked in the water, you know what I mean?
They'll call you a pedophile.
Exactly. They will call me and send me to jail and not a psychiatric ward. Right? They'll think I'm crazy, and apparently jail is where they put crazy people.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you very much for doing this, man. This was a really dope experience.